UFC 328 Chimaev versus Strickland is this Saturday. I'll be going over the whole card so you don't have to. This will be a little bit of a different video just due to need to switch it up a little bit. Haven't been able to put that much time into the breakdowns or anything, but we will go over these guys pretty quickly. So Clayton Carpenter 2-2 in the UFC. He's lost to Tagir, so Tagir is a solid opponent. Lost to Horiguchi, beat Asmat, but he did pop for steroids recently. Beat Cody Durden, lost to Tim Elliott, which Tim Elliott will take advantage of mistakes, but overall he's had a solid record. Then go to Jose. 1-2 in the UFC, hasn't been on the better side of getting good fights, but overall he has faced some pretty good guys. He's lost to Loney, I should say. Loney Kavanaugh, very good fighter. I've been on his hype train for a while, but very good fighter there. Beat Durden. I've been saying Durden isn't the best fighter ever though, but then he lost to Isu, who is a grappler / wrestler. Clayton, I think Clayton is gonna come down, walk him down. It's gonna be a clash of styles, definitely, because they both like to pressure each other or their opponents. Clayton will look at you like you owe him money. He is going to have a mean face, and he is going to look to walk you down and just have a brawl with you, or if you go to the ground, he's going to either scramble with you, either go for a submission, or he's going to try to get up and start walking you down again. I think this should be a very good fight to open the card. I will go with Clayton Carpenter, though, just due to being a little better, and I am a little biased with that pick. So if you wanted to stay away from bias, maybe go Jose, but I am going to go with the bias pick in Clayton. So I don't know how to say this guy's name. We're going to go with the Russian guy versus Jordan Santos. So if you look at the guys he's faced, he is, 2-0 in the UFC. Beat Eric Nolan by rear naked choke, where Nolan did catch him a good couple times, but at the same time, coming in at a plus 750, probably close to a plus 1,000 underdog by fight night. And then you got Eric McConaughey, who looked solid, stayed in there decently. But overall, the question is, will he have a good enough chin to withstand Jordan Santos? And Jordan Santos definitely isn't someone to take lightly or think you can get an easy win off of, like Danny Barlow thought. Danny Barlow faced him and he lost. Danny Barlow definitely should have won that fight at 2-1 in the UFC at the time. He lost to Sam Patterson, which I was surprised. Beat Nikolay Vertenikov, who was also good. Beat Quinlan, who isn't the best, but here's the thing. He has faced good competition like Vertenikov, but losing to Patterson's is kind of a sign that you may not be cut out for the top 15. Even though Sam Patterson is good, I just don't think very highly of him. DeJordan, he is going to come down, walk you down. Once he starts to realize, you want to strike with me, he will start going downhill, and he is going to start swinging, and he's going to give it his all. But overall, if you want to go with a risky pick at plus 470, it says here, 475 an underdog for Jordan Santos against this guy who hasn't really been tested too much in the UFC. Hey, I would take those odds, and his KO odds are probably even bigger, probably 750, around maybe 800. I would take that as a little sprinkle, but I will go I'll go with the Russian guy just due to being the safer pick, I'd say. Sabatini, Gomez. This should be a pretty good fight. I only see this fight going either two ways. Gomez striking masterclass, or Sabatini wrestles Gomez for a very boring but dominant win. My pick will be William Gomez. I do not like Pat Sabatini just due to his style. He is a very dominant wrestler though, but I just don't like his style, so we're going to go with William Gomez. Tulio and Kopylov. I think this is kind of a layup fight for Tulio just due to him losing his last fight against CLD, which I also had CLD winning, but I just don't think he was ready for that type of opponent, especially coming off a win against Ihor and Trayshawn Gore. Gore did just prove that he is a contender still and that he belongs in the UFC. But a guy like Ihor, who is just a punching bag and easy finish, like boom, KO. I don't know how Cesar Almeida didn't finish him. First round finish, second round finish, first round. He gets beat by a lot of actual good guys. He did beat Robert, who is a good win to be honest, but he also is coming off a loss, so it doesn't really matter. But overall, Tulio hasn't faced the best guys. Compared to Kopylov, who is versus Chris Curtis, RoboCop, Paulo Costa, Cesar Almeida, who is very, very tough. Hernandez, Josh Frem, is coming off a big KO. I believe it was a KO win in BKFC. But he has versed a lot of tough guys, and Pualihi, very good fighter as well. Overall, he has faced a lot of tough guys, and he is the more well-tested guy. Tulio, though, has a lot of power. It is very conflicting fight, just because they both are very good, but it's more of who is going to come out and, get that finish. Because I don't think this fight will go to decision, unless it's either Tulio KO or Kopylov decision. I probably will go with Tulio KO, just because Kopylov hasn't dealt with power the best, but can't count Kopylov out. But the pick will be Marco Tulio by KO round 2 probably. Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. I could, out of spite for Jared Gordon, for his one fight where he lost against Rafa Garcia, where he got hit by a car and didn't say anything, which kind of made me mad because I chose him to win, and it was definitely the wrong choice. I wish he either pulled out or said something about the car crash. But Jim Miller is very tough, and he's not going to go down with a fight. He has over, 40 fights in the UFC, win-loss. So I think he is due for a win. I do think he is tough enough to beat a guy like Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon is good, but I don't think he is that good to beat a very experienced Jim Miller and know what it takes to get the win. And even if it's a decision, KO, submission, whatever it takes, I think Jim Miller will get the job done compared to a Jared Gordon who is coming off a loss. He got hit by a car. I feel like, the excuse is there for him coming off that loss. It's not like, oh, I need to get a win back. It's, oh, I lost because I got hit by a car, and it contributed to it, which definitely it did, but at the same time, you can't make excuses if you lose. If you choose to fight, you chose to fight. We'll get into the Grant Dawson and Rebecca fight. I think this is going to be a scrap. Should be a really good fight. Grant Dawson could take this. For some reason, I feel like Grant Dawson could take this, but Rebecca KO is calling my name a little bit. But I will go with Grant Dawson just because Rebecca looked horrible in his last fight against a guy who had really good striking like Ludovic Klein or Chris Duncan, where their striking was good enough and their footwork and everything combined their striking game was complete compared to a Rebecca who is kind of looking for that crazy one-shot KO. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson here just because I think he has shown he is a little durable in his recent fights, but he did get knocked out twice. He is coming off a knockout to Manuel Torres, but Manuel Torres is a killer, a.k.a. Ignacio Bahamunda's son, but whatever you want to consider him as. But Torres, of course, he was going to get the KO. Do I think Rebecca's going to get the KO? Maybe not, just due to it's the wars he had recently. It was the Klein fight. It was the Duncan fight. It just didn't rub me the right way. And plus, if you look at his resume isn't that really impressive. He's lost when he's taken that step up. Ferreira, Duncan, Klein, he's lost. Yes, you can add Orlebai in there, but it was a split decision, and I don't really want to count that because that fight can go either way. But the pick will be Grant Dawson by decision. All right, very biased pick incoming. We're going to go Yoel Alvarez. Yoel Alvarez has the KO power. He has the striking. He has good footwork. He has everything. It's his takedown defense that we're a little worried about, but I am going to go Yoel Alvarez in this. I don't think Yaroslav is fully UFC tested. If he wins this fight, good on him. I'm happy for him. Good to see he actually got that UFC test to where I'll be confident in picking him. But overall, I'm going to go Yoel Alvarez just because I have liked him ever since the Elves Brenner fight. That's what put me on the map because I was so 50-50 with that fight. And I didn't think Yoel Alvarez was that much of a dog, and I knew Brenner was a dog. But overall, Yoel Alvarez should be able to go out there, do what he does, and get the finish. Atiba versus Ozzy. All I'm gonna say is -1,000. Do not play Atiba on any parlay or anything. To be honest, you might as well sprinkle like $5. If you're putting the $25 parlay, you're trying to add Atiba. Don't do that. Just put $5 on Ozzy Diaz for KO, because you might as well. Ozzy Diaz is tough. He will strike with you, and to be honest, he could land that crazy shot. Here is the thing, though. He has been knocked out twice in the UFC by two really good power strikers. But at the same time, be cautious if you are going to play Atiba on any parlays. But my pick is Atiba. Atiba should run through this guy, to be honest. But at the same time, be cautious of the Ozzy Diaz KO if he somehow, fraud checks Atiba. King Green, Jeremy Stephens. Here's the thing. Both pretty much 40. I'm going to go with King Green. King Green has been on a crazy run recently, winning, I believe, 2 of his 3 last fights. Yeah, 2 of his last fights. Lance Gibson, really good win for him. I don't think it should have been a split decision. I think it should have been unanimous. Zellhuber, knocking out him, very good on him. Showed Zellhuber hasn't improved and is the same fighter, and that he's not really going to go anywhere if he keeps training at the same gym he is. Jeremy Stephens, on the other hand, coming off a loss. 2 losses, actually. He lost to Mason Jones, which is kind of a not bad of a loss, to be honest, because Mason Jones recently has been on a run. Ever since he's got in the UFC. 3 fights. Boom. Ever since he got back in the UFC. To be honest, I don't think he should have been kicked out of the UFC or cut from the UFC, whatever you want to say, because beating David Onama and then losing to Ludovic Klein is crazy. But that's for another discussion. But I'm not going to go with Jeremy Stephens, who is coming off getting knocked out in bare knuckle. I think he has a lot of head trauma, and I just don't think his chin will be able to withstand the punches from Green in this fight. Sean Brady, Buckley. This should be a pretty good fight. I don't think Buckley loses this. I think he is going to knock out Brady. When you have such a guy like Brady who's so used to winning, and then he comes out after last fight saying, "Oh, I got knocked down," he got knocked down in camp and all this stuff, saying it was a bad camp and first time for everything, like him getting knocked down, him getting rocked or whatever his excuse was. In my opinion, when you come off a loss to a guy like Michael Morales, who is a title contender, and you're making excuses saying, it was a bad camp and all this, it's like, bro, what is the point of making excuses? You lost the fight. You would have lost either way, no matter what. Morales was going to knock you out either way. He has crazy power. Buckley has crazy power as well. People like to bring up the Usman fight. But with the Usman fight, here, I'll pull up the stats. So you see Buckley versus Usman. Oh, I cannot spell. But if you look at the stats, pretty even fight, except for the striking, of course. But I believe that was massively because of the takedowns leading to strikes for Usman. But 4 for 13 on takedowns is not bad at all. I believe Buckley's corner failed him. As soon as they told him to start level changing, as soon as Usman does, he started defending every takedown. If they told him that earlier, he could have won some more rounds easily. But at the same time, that loss definitely will help Buckley. Brady, on the other hand, coming off a loss by KO. I never thought he was good. He got knocked out by Bilal, which is a bad sign. And I just don't think he's all that hype. And Buckley at a plus 160 underdog, I would smash that, to be honest. And I think most people are playing Buckley by KO if they do have him winning. So I will go Buckley KO round 1. I think it's going to be a pretty quick fight. I don't think Brady can hang with these power punchers, and Buckley does have good wrestling too, so I think Buckley's gonna low-key dominate him in the first round. Volkov and Waldo. I think this is another Pavlovich situation where it is good that Volkov is a favorite, just for me at least, because Waldo, there's so many underdogs on this card that you could easily play, like you could play Yoel Alvarez. You can even do Rebecca. If you were to do Alvarez, Buckley, And then Waldo. To be honest, I think that's easy money. You could even do Joshua Van in there. Or you could even add Strickland if you really wanted to add, if you think Strickland's going to win. But Waldo at plus money is scary for Volkov, to be honest, because if you have Waldo at plus money, and he hasn't been at plus money very often, he was plus money against Sergey, pretty much almost plus money on Versante, and then he's been a favorite his last couple fights, but he has won a decent amount where he's been the underdog, like plus 205. There's no pressure on Waldo. He knows he's going to go out there and do his thing. It's hard to pick against Waldo, especially against a guy like Volkov, who is easily taken down. But Waldo, I think, will go out there, do his thing. He might even mix it up with some takedowns, take out Volkov, because that's the easiest thing to do. But I think Waldo will get the KO here. Joshua Van and Tyra, I gotta go with my boy Kyle. My boy Kyle looks exactly like Joshua Van, so I gotta support the homie. Gotta go with Joshua Van against Tyra. Tyra definitely has the chance to get it done. He's very explosive. He's very fast. He has explosive takedowns, and he may not have the power to hang with Van on the feet, but at the same time, he does have the wrestling to at least stay in there with Van. I think Van is very good, though. He has very good striking, very good takedown defense. So it is hard to go against Van, but I will go with Van. Tyra, on the other hand, though, this is a biased pick. Don't get me wrong. I love Joshua Van. I've been supporting him since day one. So if you want to play Tyra, play Tyra. But I'm going to go with Joshua Van because I think he is the better fighter here. Hamzat and Strickland, keep it short. We're going to go Strickland. I do not want to go Hamzat here just because minus 510 for Hamzat's kind of crazy. Plus, he's been talking like he's going to kill Strickland, so I feel like he might get into his head that he could strike with Strickland a little bit. Who knows? Strickland might knock him out on the feet. That's what I'm hoping for, to be honest, because Hamzat, as champ right now, the press conference did just happen, and his trash talk is absolutely horrible. This guy only repeats the same thing over and over and over and over. I don't know if it's because his English is horrible, but he needs to learn how to trash talk if he's actually going to be an entertaining champ. Plus, hugging someone for 25 minutes and acting like you're going to kill the next guy is kind of crazy. So I will go Strickland here with that pick. But at the same time, I don't think there was any weight misses. I think everybody will make weight. I do not think... I think if there will be a weight miss, I think it will be... where is it? This Jordan Santos. I feel like this Jordan Santos is going to come over. But this should be a very entertaining card. If you aren't watching it, I would definitely tune into it just because you have two title fights. We don't really get that often just because the UFC tries to separate some fights and have actual entertaining cards almost every weekend. A lot of people like to complain that the UFC doesn't put on entertaining cards, but if you actually watched every fight on the cards, some of them are boring. Don't get me wrong. Some cards are boring, but a lot of these cards are actually pretty entertaining. But let me know how you like the style of this video. If you like this better or you like the other style better with all the blacked out picture description of each and then screen of who I think is going to win. Let me know which one you prefer. If you think that this one's better, let me know. I'll start doing this a lot more. If not, I'll go back to the other style. But I will have another breakdown out next week for, I believe, who is it next week? Arnold Allen versus Costa. That's a banger card, I'm not gonna lie. I am pretty intrigued for this card. You got Wellmaker, you got Sopa. Two favorite fighters of mine. Brundage is fighting. It should be a pretty good card. So I will have another video out for next week for Arnold versus Costa.